Hey, so I'm going to start a little series of videos for what I'm going to call my autoimmune followers. I've had a lot of people email me, Facebook me, and stuff like that saying, how are you feeling and how are you recovering and stuff like that. And so I thought I'd just start this video. Doing much better. Thank you very much for asking for all those inquiries. I really appreciate it. I get through with a lot of people asking how you're doing and you get a lot of support, so that's wonderful. One of the things is I listen to a lot of podcasts about autoimmune disease and getting through autoimmune disease. So I thought I would start these video series up because one of the things with the podcast that I've noticed is you always have these people on there are like, yeah, I'm better and I'm much better and this is what I do now and da 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 da, and it's like I've never heard from people who are in the midst of that recovery. So autoimmune disease, you're always going to have autoimmune disease, right? You're always going to have it. It's how you manage the autoimmune disease. So that's where I'm at right now is how do I manage the autoimmune disease and how do we get over this initial hump where my antibodies are just so high. So that's why I want to do this video podcast now of that and help, if some people are going through it right now and get some autoimmune followers. One thing, just so you know, I've been going through this for 2 years now. 2 years ago in November is when I first started having symptoms of this autoimmune disease, and at that point I didn't know what was going on. I went through every barrage of tests. I had probed and prodded and blood and everything done, until they finally figured out that I had autoimmune Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is very common in autoimmune disease. It's very common across the country. Unfortunately, becoming more common because of all this stupid genetically modified stuff that's out there. Becoming more common in prevalent in the country. One of the things that's not as prevalent is it's not as prevalent in men, and there's different severities of it. So my endocrinologist said that I had a pretty severe case of it where it affected my adrenal glands, and that's what made me so sick. And that's why I'm having such a hard time recovering as well. So we're getting not only the thyroid back in order, but we're getting the adrenals back in order too. One of the things that I did know about this and what I've learned through this is traditional medicine does not give you the answer. If they're not 100% of what I do, I really had to kind of only do like 10% of what I do is traditional medicine. And 90% of what I do to recover is functional medicine, and it's holistic medicine. So that's what I kind of want to do in these series is talk about like what I do to help heal. Traditional medicine thinks they know the answer, but they don't know all the answers, and it pisses me off when they say this is the answer and this is what you need to do, and they don't want to even say if I recommend anything that's non-traditional, they'll give you a hard time about it. It's like, screw you. You think you know what you're doing, but you don't. Thank God I have a healthcare team now. My PCP right now is absolutely wonderful. So that's going to be my first tip. You have to get the right healthcare team behind you. My PCP is absolutely amazing. She understands that it's not only traditional medicine, but you have to think about alternatives and bring diet and your lifestyle and everything back into this. So she's absolutely wonderful. I've gone through 3 PCPs and I'm on my 3rd endocrinologist right now. You have to get the right healthcare team, and that suits you and will listen to you. So that's the tip number 1. I'm going to bring some more tips in the weeks to come. So thank you.